back and you're watching News Channel 3 Live at 9. A new Memphis-made documentary asks a very provocative question. Who will watch the watchers?
It tracks what has happened here in Memphis when citizens have tried to record police officers. Filmmaker Gary Moore joins us. And Gary, what strikes me as interesting is you're having a focus group. So we've been talking a lot about having a conversation and having a dialogue and not having it top down, but finding out what citizens want. Your focus group continues that conversation.
Well, it does, Marybeth, and that also helps as a filmmaker. That gives you feedback and either reinforcement or tells you things that you need to correct and change. Because if you're too deep into a project as a filmmaker, you know, it may be great or it may not. You get too close to it, so it helps to have some feedback.
Very good. What is the film about?
The film is about, as you said, it tracks the struggles of citizens here in Memphis who were arrested for filming the police, then sought to work through the system to get justice at City Hall. It also examines the phenomenon that we've seen over the last few years of the increasing ways that we see police. Everybody has a cell phone. We've got the in-car videos, the body-worn cameras. So that's what's changed over the last few years. Not that events have changed, but the way we're able to see things, you know, in hindsight, that's what's changed.
From your standpoint, Gary, this definitely evolved into a documentary, but that's not initially what you had set out to do, was it not?
That's true, and I try to make films about social issues, important issues, but use humor and Memphis-made music to sort of help the message go down, medicine go down. But in researching that, and this has been a project that I've been involved in for more than 2 years, in the course of researching that and showing up at events and paying attention, shooting a lot of video footage, it evolved into this documentary, and there was so much that was interesting and important there. It just, you know, called for doing more with it. And who will watch the watchers? You know, we typically think about things like we've seen on TV and like we were talking about the cell phone videos, and here's what the men and women on the street are doing. But there's other watchers that need to be watched, and I'm talking.
For example, we're talking about civilian review boards, and because that's been in the news here in Memphis a lot over the past year or so, and the power that it has, or maybe some power that could be taken away.
Exactly, and that's actually the thread of this film. That's the thread of the storyline and the timeline that holds this film together. Is it tracks that movement to bring back the Civilian Law Enforcement Review Board and get it some more effective powers, so to speak. And that's the timeline of the film. And that's a way to watch the other watchers. And when I say the other watchers, elected officials and appointed officials, they set policy, tone, and funding for the men and women on the street. So those are watchers who must be watched as well.
So you emphasize this is not anti-police.
No way.
This is designed to keep everybody safe?
It's to keep everybody safe, and in the film, we see how everybody feels across the spectrum. But I heard earlier the mayor and Director Rawlings talk about some different things. An action plan, I think, was mentioned. There's an action plan that exists right now, and it was convened last year. It's the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing. And it's a very detailed action plan of recommendations and things that we can do. Their top priority as far as what's important to do right now is to build trust and legitimacy, trust between the communities and the law enforcement. And for instance, they say that we must change the culture from to be guardians. The mindset of officers, you know, we want guardians, not warriors. We need to emphasize de-escalation over confrontation. They also recommend that every community set up a civilian law enforcement review board, like we have here and like we're talking about. That's part of bridging this trust and building this trust, because it lays out, it makes things more transparent. Now, before City Council right now is an ordinance that would strike down some of the powers of the teeth of the Civilian Oversight Board, the subpoena power. That's the last thing we need to be talking about and doing right now. We need to be building a bridge of trust, not tearing that down.
All right.
It's about being aware.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
We appreciate it. You should attend the focus group.